A landmark Acadian church in Clare facing demolition is the subject of a last-ditch community effort to save the 120-year-old structure. Église Sainte-Marie, the tallest wooden church in North America, is in desperate need of repairs. Gabrielle Bardall is part of the community group trying to save the church. So there have been many attempts to try and change this in the past, one way or another. What's different about this approach?
Well, thanks for having us here tonight. We are excited. We've just started within 2 weeks, and we've gotten an incredible amount of support around this topic internationally, nationally, and locally. There's been years of efforts around this, but we think that there's still a fresh look into this. For one, the ownership of the church has been, or the ownership of this church has been with the diocese for all of these years, which means that a lot of funding opportunities for it have been closed at this time. So we're looking into those directions. We're also receiving testimonies and advice from across the country from different groups and public organizations that have found really creative ways of solving this type of thing through public and private partnerships and others. So we feel that there is a lot left to be done, both financially exploring, as well as getting some of the key facts that will help us lay out a reasonable business plan.
I want to ask you about that because you do want to try and nail down some of the facts, because there's been a lot of talk over the years as well, and some of it may be somewhat misguided. What is it you're trying to get to the bottom of there with the fact search?
Well, first of all, we would want to make sure that there is a proper structural engineering report that's conducted by a specialist in heritage architecture. This church in particular, a former church I should say, is of national, if not international status. And working with an architectural firm that recognizes that and works to those standards will help us create a business plan to meet those goals. So that's the first thing. And also there's a lot of important work to be done in terms of due diligence for documenting the site. 3D laser imagery and other things like this will help us preserve the knowledge that's contained in this building and its legacy for future generations.
Some people will think, okay, you're going to need millions and millions of dollars, all of it all at once to get it all done, but an engineering report might enlighten you a little bit in that regard as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The building is considered to be structurally sound. We know that there's serious problems with the envelope of it and also a leaky roof, but we don't necessarily need all that money the first day. Having an engineering report will help us understand if this can be done incrementally, to understand what the sequence of repairs needs to be, and to come up with a longer-term plan.
Is there any sense that some people, a group of people will come forward with some money? I mean, it is going to take ultimately some money to fix this.
Oh, it'll absolutely take money to fix this. We're starting small. We encourage viewers tonight to check out our webpage and help us with our GoFundMe campaign for the engineering report, which will lay down these facts. But over the course of time, this will take a large integrative effort, and we see a role for major institutions, federal, provincial, as well as private actors within the region and the province, investing in this as part of a bigger plan for the entire region and community. I
noticed that you had talked about maybe a possible cultural and economic renewal for the structure. What might that look like?
Well, a cultural renewal, I think, first of all, would be giving the world the opportunity to see just how powerful this site is. It is an integral part of the local Acadian population. It is a story of 1,500 local volunteers that built this, that donated the materials for it, many of who don't have some of these materials in their own homes still today because they're in the church. But we want to tell that story to the world. And by making the site accessible, by opening the doors up to those stories, we will be able to do that. And in terms of economic drivers, it is one of the leading, if not the leading, historical structure site to visit within the region. It is the second biggest wooden historical building in the world today. You'd have to go to China to see anything bigger. And that contributes to the local economy in a big way. Rural Acadian communities like this need to see that type of investment. They need to diversify how they're doing their businesses, and we think this is an important way to get there.
It's been a couple of weeks for you already at the front end of this. What is your sort of timeline for this project? What do you see the next 6 months or a year or so looking like?
The diocese has given us, they're not willing to extend their timeline at the moment, but they are giving us until relatively June to come up with a viable plan, which is a monumental undertaking. As I said, we're doing it in steps. We want to start with an engineering report to get the facts and to know which direction to take this. And from there, we expect to develop a business plan to look at these options for adaptive reuse. We know from an earlier plan that the building can, in fact, be self-sufficient financially, but we're going to determine what those paths will look like and take fundraising from there.
Unlikely that it would be used as a church? again?
Unlikely that it will be used as a church again, but it still has a lot to offer the community and the province.
What a view from the top, that steeple, if you can get up there.
I can't wait to see it. It was been closed since my time here, but many of the people in the community that have been a part of this have been sharing their stories and have fond memories of looking out from up there.
And maybe some sightseeing opportunities there.
I hope so.
Lovely to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.